back, listeners, to the Mindful Journey podcast. I'm your host, Sana, and let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like your mind is racing ahead of your body? Like your breath can't quite catch up with the day? You just don't remember what you ate in your breakfast, in your lunch, in your brunch. Where did you go? I mean, it seems like you don't even remember how the day went, or your heart is quietly screaming for stillness in the middle of fear, frenzy, or impatience. Listeners, I have felt that. And if so, you are not alone, because in a world where go, go, go is glorified, many of us silently long to feel grounded, present, and most of all, connected. And today, listeners, we are holding space for that longing. Joining us is Swami Nityananda. She's a radiant teacher and spiritual guide who leads the Awake Yoga Meditation community. Her teachings are a wellspring of joy, liberation, and deep wisdom. Whether she is guiding a meditation or sharing a story, she reminds us of something we often forget. Our true nature is love, and it's always available to us, even in the storm. So let's lean in together and explore how can we truly feel connected, even when we feel anything but. So, Swami, welcome to the show, and I'm really, really honored to have you here with us.
Sana, thank you for such a warm welcome. And just thank you for all the light that you share with your listeners. I'm very excited to talk with you.
Absolutely beautiful. Swami, before we talk about the topic, if it is okay with you, our listeners would love to know your journey, the moments of transformation, the moment where you felt that something is off, you're not feeling the way it should be. I mean, how was it? I mean, if you can share with all of us.
Of course. Yes. No, thank you for such a thoughtful question. And one of the things that I would say is that I think for any listener, that if you do feel a moment of disconnection, it is a natural experience to have in human embodiment. And so to be gentle with yourself and honest and kind with yourself, one of the things that I really love about my teacher, who was Swami Shankarananda, and he founded our meditation community. We're geographically in Baltimore and we share teachings with listeners around the world. But one of the things that he said very late in his time in embodiment was no matter who you are and no matter how far along your spiritual unfoldment you are, it is possible to experience a moment of disconnection. And so, for any listener, if you do experience a moment of disconnection, be honest and acknowledge it for yourself. But also, I would just say, don't add judgment to it. So, don't think that that means there's something wrong with you. Instead, take a deep breath into your heart and just notice that it's possible in that breath to breathe connection into your own heart. And so, one of the things that it's possible to do is to realize that always at the core of my being, at the core of your being, at the core of every being, there is peace and quiet. And so this is true no matter what is happening externally, no matter what's happening in the body or the mind or the human emotions, even if I am going through changes or my family is going through changes or the world is going through changes, there's always a steadiness, there's always a light, there's always a quiet, which means that every moment, everywhere I am, and this is true for everyone on the planet, there's always guidance and support. And that guidance and support comes from within. It doesn't actually come from outside, it comes from within. And as soon as I connect from within, then support and guidance will flow to me from what seems to be outside as well. But the source of everything that I'm looking for is within. And so, Sana, you were asking me a little bit about my journey. I met my teacher in 2010, and I had this experience. He walked into a Friday night meditation. We still do meditations on Friday nights, and I just had this moment of recognition where I knew this was my teacher. I knew he was the real deal, and he was just like sunshine in human form. And one of the things that I really love is that he taught me to know and trust the light that is equally within me. And that same light is equally within every human on the planet. And so that's what I would say is that knowing and trusting that light that is within me helps me be in the energy of kinship, the energy of kindness, the energy of connection from within myself. But then that also means that naturally I'm in this awareness of universal goodwill, I'll call it. So if I'm on the bus or I'm on the grocery store, I'm in line somewhere at the post office, no matter where I am, there's just this energy of benevolence, this energy of sharing what is best. And so this is true for everyone on the planet that the more that I connect with that from within myself, the more that will also share through me. And then the more that will also radiate back to me. You also asked me, is there a moment that I can share when I have experienced a disconnection? And so I would say, I don't think I experienced a disconnection, but when my teacher left the body, that was a huge cataclysmic event. It happened in 2014. And in the life of the meditation community, that's major because he had been the teacher. He had founded the community and been the teacher for 40 years. And like I said, he was this illumined being, amazing, radiant sunshine. And so when he left the physical, that was major for everyone, including me. And he appointed me as his successor. And so there was a lot of grace, there was a lot of inner kindness and guidance and love and support. But also, that's a major thing for me to step forward to be of service at that time. And then also for everyone else in the community to step forward and be of service in that time. And now looking back, I've been of service since 2014. Currently, it's 2025. And so we sort of know, okay, by grace, everything worked out according to the divine helping us. But of course, like it takes a lot of determined self effort on our part as well. And so I would say that for any listener as well, don't be afraid of hard work. So work with willingness and with diligence and with joy. And that just, the Upanishads remind us, that helps you succeed in your outer objectives. It also helps you remember I am not the body. So no one on the planet is limited to the body. And so that also helps me be in contact with inner radiance. And that also helps me be in contact with ingenuity and faith and trust and confidence and an ability to expand and to keep going at really cataclysmic moments, like when my teacher left the body, but also in minor human moments. Like if you ever have a moment where your technology isn't working or whatever it is in your life, you're able to just go deeper and to know that the underlying connectedness is still there. And so then that gives you this ability to live into the connectedness in time and space. And it's always going to take new forms. So it's natural for things to change in time and space, which means the connection is always going to be expressing and manifesting in really exciting, dynamic, beautiful new ways.
Wow. Wow. And first of all, I really loved the fact that you mentioned that even the unsettling feelings within us, the unrest, the chaos within us, the disconnect, that is natural. That is not something, uniquely happening to just me. It is natural. However, you very beautifully uh, highlighted the beauty of the inner world, the inner, cosmos within us. That with love, joy, um, courage, we uh, have to keep on doing what we love to do, and that's something, it's so simple, basic, yet it is so kind of, need of the hour right now.
I love what you said about that. Like, there's always this inner quiet, this inner resourcefulness available. And I agree with you very much. Like, I think there are a lot of human hearts around the world right now that are just crying out for understanding and wanting to know, like, what is real and what is my life purpose. And so, for any listener, just to turn within when you have that question and to breathe into your heart And your own awareness, your own life energy, your own kindness is always with you and it is real. And the more that you connect with it, the more that you're able to build, I would call it an inner steadiness. And so, one of the things that we can practice, and yogis have talked about this for millennia, and we can actually verify the changes in the brain now using contemporary scientific imaging, but it's possible to create new pathways in the brain so that instead of being a majority of the time in a feeling of turbulence inwardly, instead, we can create pathways that help us be a majority of the time in a feeling of calm and a feeling of poise. And so, for example, if we're having a moment of fear and the fear based part of our brain is responding, we can notice that and we can take a deep breath and we can then take a step back before we choose how we would like to respond. And what happens then is I'm gaining freedom in relation to whatever I am observing, and I'm choosing what thoughts would I like to create, what feelings would I like to energize, what is helpful, what is
Mm.
possible, what is of service, and then I'm free. I'm free inwardly and I'm free in my relationships with my family, with work, with the world. If I allow something from outside of me to dictate and govern how I'm thinking and how I'm feeling, then I'm actually not free, and I'm giving the outside power to choose my inner state. And so this is a basic reminder that every human has the ability to practice, you could call it self-sovereignty, and just to
Mhm.
always come from a place of peace and harmony and simplicity and awareness from within our own being.
Absolutely, absolutely. That beautifully makes sense. And Swami, let's talk about. I mean, it can be hard hitting or maybe a bit of a polarizing perspective, but currently we are in those times where fear or frenzy, disconnect, they are manufactured or I mean, monetized. And I mean, I know it can be really very strong or hard hitting, or maybe far fetched. However, um, we are definitely in some turbulent times right now. So for the ones who are, not able to filter them out, or they are getting affected, maybe consciously or subconsciously, eh, connection, it may feel for them like a luxury. So how do you suggest we can begin, or where do we begin when we are in that space? I mean, will meditation or breath work only help, or does it require a huge overhaul from inside out?
So there's always help available from within ourselves wherever you are at any point of journey, like anywhere that I am in any time, in any space, every moment support is available. And the reason why this is true is because that which upholds the whole universe upholds me. And this is true for everyone on the planet. So there are universal laws of energy. And if I am in harmony with these universal laws of energy, then I will be able to navigate any time and any space from this inner clarity and this inner awareness. For most humans, we have an innate knowing of this. And so I would say for any listener, pay attention. Like, when are the moments where I feel calm? When are the moments where I feel connected? When are the moments where I feel clear? That is the true nature for each of us. Like, that is the eternal reality for each of us. And so to create more of those moments in your body, in your heart, in your mind, each of us is a powerful creator. So every thought I'm thinking, it's creating an energetic effect in me. Every word I'm speaking, it's creating an energetic effect in me. Every choice I make is creating an energetic effect in me. And so before you get out of bed in the morning, when you blink your eyes open, I choose peace. I surround and fill myself with the energy of peace, or if you prefer the word light, or if you prefer the word kindness, whatever it is that your heart is really loving to experience right now, I feel faith. I feel this inner clarity. I feel connectedness. Before you even put your feet on the ground to start moving through your day, connect inwardly with how you would like to feel from within yourself throughout the day. And then it's possible to actually almost ask that feeling of light, ask that feeling of kindness to pave a pathway of light through your day. And again, I'm using a lot of words right now. You can do this in 3 breaths. So in one breath, you breathe a breath of light. In another breath, you breathe that breath of light out through your day, like through your family, through your friends, through your workplace, through your bus, through the train if you're taking the train, through the market if you're going to the market, wherever you are going, just keep breathing this breath of light, and the light is with you. And so I have the ability, everyone has the ability to choose to identify with that. And then I'll give a really practical example because you were asking about fear. So every morning, and I would encourage every listener to do something really simple like this. I take a daily walk. Like sometimes it's a 5-minute walk because that's what my day permits. And I just do it right in my neighborhood, right out my door. I live in the city, so this is possible, like wherever you live. And I just walk with an intention to connect with natural energy. The earth is everywhere, even in the city. The sky is everywhere, even in the city. There's the energy of nature always with us. And so I was on this morning walk and I walked by a neighbor and he was just experiencing a wave of fear and a wave of anger. And he expressed that. And because I was steady and centered in this energy of I'm connected to the earth has this steadiness and this support. It's beneath me always, it's with me always. The air has this expansiveness, this wide horizon. So it doesn't need to react to personality things or to if I see this person in a wave of fear or a wave of anger. And so I was able to just neutrally witness and observe that wave that he was expressing. And I was able to notice that has nothing to do with me. I'm just observing it. And so I had this energy of clarity and neutrality. And I was able to not allow that energy into my energy field. And so this is a practice that I would encourage everyone to practice. And so it starts with you, just with you. And with being centered and calm and saying, I choose to be steady in the energy of serenity and kindness or the energy of light, whatever your word for it is. And then to feel, how does that energy feel in my heart when I feel serenity, when I feel kindness, when I feel light? How does that energy feel in my body? How does that feel in my mind? How does it feel in my life? And then any moment, if I observe, it could be a family member, it could be a colleague, it could be someone on social media or on the news who's in a different energy than kindness and clarity and awareness and light, I can just be a neutral observer. I don't have to react. I can have an inner clarity and awareness. What is helpful in this moment? What is hopeful in this moment? What wisdom can I gain in this moment? And then when you are in contact with what is helpful, with what is hopeful, with what is wise, you will know what is of service. So we're all here to be of service, no matter what our work is. We're all here just to be hopeful and kind to ourselves and to other humans. And if that's our intention, we will unfold that. And so more and more we will be in that energy of helpfulness and hopefulness, awareness and kindness, trusting the good and the beauty that are in every human heart. The divine dwells in every human heart. And when you have that awareness, it helps you look deeper. If you see human, it could be one, it could be many that are experiencing illusion, that are experiencing disconnect, that are experiencing fear, that are experiencing delusion. These things have always been part of time and space. And so the ancient teachings, like the ones in the Bhagavad Gita, the ones in the Upanishads, tell us that means my task as an individual human, my task is always to see deeper than delusion, see deeper than the illusion of separateness, see deeper than fear. And this begins within me always. So courage is always present, it's always in my heart, it's always available, and then it will help me from moment to moment in my daily tasks, my daily work, my daily interactions with the beautiful humans around me. I will be able to live in that energy of courage, clarity, and kindness. And I will also know what is real. And I will be building my life on what is real. When I'm in contact with what is real, I'm not constantly affected by the winds of the world. I'm in contact with what is eternally real. And so that's what allows me to not be in a constant frenzy and in a constant feeling of anxiety or insecurity. So find in you what never changes. For each listener, the light in you is always there. It never leaves you. You are never separate from it. And so the enormous, vast, infinite love that is completely eternal is with you always as well. And so this, I think, just is a profoundly healing thing. If I, as is normal for any human, if any listener has experienced pain in my life and I felt like, what's wrong with me because I experienced this really painful thing, there's nothing wrong with you. That's an experience you had in time and space. And often our experiences in time and space have the effect of guiding us back to, well, that clearly is not preferred. What is preferred? And that guides you back to, you could call it the source, you could call it the divine, you could call it the light that is within you. So if you look at every experience in time and space can help you gain spiritual wisdom. It can help you gain spiritual maturity and be in contact always with this truth, the reality, that in you, which is always pure, which is always kind, which is always good and generous and thoughtful. And that will just help you navigate very joyfully, with grace, with strength, whatever there is to navigate in your light and in your world.
Wow, that is blissful. And that is such a practical yet grounded, uh, you know, way of living, leading ourselves from within. And I absolutely loved how you weave together the three words courage, clarity, and kindness. Because there can be, certain set uh, images or I should say references to all the three words, when we talk about them differently. But together, these three, they have such a beautiful role in bringing that divinity within ourselves, that spiritual wisdom within ourselves. Um, that is absolutely beautifully explained, Swami. I loved it. It's uplifting, it's invigorating, and it's empowering at the same time. Um, so, in the interest of time, before we wrap up, um, uh, are there any specific daily practices or rituals that you follow and you would also suggest to our listeners, like meditation, but any specific rituals that can actually help them cultivate how they can be courageous, but also embrace clarity and kindness?
Thank you for the question and thank you for the observation. And I was deeply moved while listening to you. Just feeling like I can feel the listeners and the energy and the commitment and integrity of the listeners. And so I just wanted to say to every listener, you have so much courage and you have so much clarity and you have so much kindness. And for every human who's on the planet right now, I would say that from the spiritual perspective, I know it doesn't always feel like this from the human perspective, but from the soul perspective, we are all here for a divine purpose. And even if it doesn't feel very easy right now for people to be on this planet going through these times of transformation individually and collectively, our souls have chosen with great wisdom and strength to be here. And so for each person to just almost like look at yourself in the mirror and congratulate yourself for your courage because I would say it always takes courage to be in human embodiment and to be here at such a time of dramatic transformation. You are amazing. And to just look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am courageous. I am amazing. I am excited to be here. And I open to clarity. I open to kindness. And allow yourself to see if you can. So I know that there's often, when you look at yourself in the mirror, often the human self will be like, meh. Like, you'll see the things that you would wish, like, oh, I need to get my hair cut or whatever it is that you think when you look in the mirror. But just to know that the light that looks out through you is the divine looking out through you. So, by whatever name you call the divine, and I know each listener probably has a different word for the divine, what you love in your spiritual ideal loves you and looks out through you and is of service through your hands and through your heart and through your mind and through your life. And so for you just to know that you are divinity expressing itself in time and space, that's how amazing you are. And for every listener to just know that you are part of the purpose of the universe fulfilling itself right now in time and space. And so I know as well, because I listen to a lot of humans, that it's really easy to feel overwhelmed by my to-do list. It's got so many things on it. I'll never be done. And so just acknowledge that's part of the human experience, but also acknowledge deeper than that is the amazing light of your being. And so before you connect with your to-do list, connect with your being. Connect with your human being before you connect with your human doing. And then what happens is we're back into that energy of good humor, creativity, playfulness, a feeling of excitement and curiosity, and any sense of like drudgery or routine or overwhelm or frustration or impatience about our daily tasks or our daily relationships, all of that melts away. And we are encountering ourselves and just loving our life. And when we love our life, and I'm not talking about like nothing has to change in our lives. Like we're changing ourselves from within and we're just discovering it's actually amazing to be here in daily life. And when I have that feeling of of amazement, then I will greet my parents, my kids, my spouse if I have one, my workplace colleagues, whoever I encounter. I'll just greet them with this energy of awe and respect and reverence and awareness that the same divine light that I love in my spiritual ideal, that's present at the core of their being. And then what happens is our vision of the world really does transform. So we stop thinking about all the things that we wish were different about the world. And we start living in a current of appreciation, a current of gratitude, a current of love. And it's universal. This love that I'm talking about, it's for everyone on the planet. You won't always agree with every human on the planet. You won't always like their behavior. That stays, but deeper than that, there's a love that the same life energy is in them, that is in me, and it's the divine. All of it is the divine. And so there is a shift in our vision. And of course, naturally, if my vision shifts, that means my experience of the world is going to shift as well because my energy changes, my frequency changes. And so, what is going to be coming back to me, and this is like very practically, like if I am filled with goodwill and exuberance toward my colleagues at work are going to be free to be filled with goodwill and exuberance toward me. The ones who are ready to be in that energy will be in that energy. The same with the people at the market or the grocery store or as I'm walking down the sidewalk. If I'm filled with the energy of, it's actually amazing just being here in daily life, greeting the earth and the sky and just being, then that will be reflected back to me. Like whether it's from my 4-year-old neighbor or it's from the squirrel or the dog or whoever it is that's able to reflect this back to me. And so as I basically choose what would I like to help energize? What would I like to help create and make visible in time and space? That comes from within me. And so then I'm back always feeling connected to what I love, always feeling empowered, not from outside of me. Like, nothing is changing from outside of me, but I'm just back in awareness that the source that moves the sun and the moon and the stars and the planets is here and living through me and living through every other human on this planet. And so I can be in contact with what is beautiful, with what is kind, with what is fun, with what is strengthening, and what I love every moment. And so naturally, my experiences of relationships, of myself, and of the world are going to transform every time I'm making this choice. And so the thing that I love about this is it's so practical, it's so down to earth and relatable, and it's available for every human on the planet. Like right now, it's possible to connect with this energy.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, so Swami, before we wrap up this uplifting and enlightening conversation, if our listeners they would like to connect with you and explore more about the work you are doing at Awake Yoga Meditation, what will be the best way?
Sure. Thank you so much. Awakeyogameditation.org is our website. Everyone is welcome. So, people who are longtime meditators are welcome. If you're brand new to meditation, you're welcome. People from all backgrounds are welcome. People from around the world are welcome. And you're welcome in person, but we also host our meditations on Zoom and on YouTube. And so you'll find links to join our meditations at awakeyogameditation.org. We also share teachings on Substack and we share teachings on YouTube. We're on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok as well. We published a book by my teacher. So he taught for 40 years, and we published a book called Satsang with Swami Shankarananda, and that just means, like, connecting with spiritual light and truth and community with Swami Shankarananda, and he provides so many inspiring examples of what we were just talking about. So if you like what we were just talking about, I think you would love that book, and more information is available at awakeyogameditation.org.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I'll make sure to have all the links and details in the show notes for our listeners to um, connect with you, Swami. And thank you um, so much because the your words they felt like a balm, uh, gentle, wise, and also luminous. That's what I can say. And thank you so much for helping us be our own guiding light uh, in our pathways, whether we encounter fear, frenzy, anxiety, but with courage, clarity, and kindness. Once again, going to repeat them. We can definitely fulfill our destiny. We can definitely embark upon our beautiful journeys, individually and collectively as well. So, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sana, for the warmth and for the brilliance and the light that you are and that you share with so many. Respect and appreciation for you and for all of your listeners.
Thank you, Swami, and to all the listeners out there. If you are caught in fear, frenzy, or impatience, pause, breathe, and remember that connection isn't earned, it is remembered. Even in chaos, you are never far from peace. Even in fear, love is not absent. And as Swami beautifully reminded us, your inner light is not something you have to find, it is something you already are. Until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and keep walking your mindful journey. Thank you so much, and namaste.